Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this super quick video. In case you don't know me, my name is Nick Ransom and I work in our children's area here at Kids Core Church of the Resurrection. And just recently I was able to attend a one-day conference, and at this conference I was able to attend a breakout dealing with preteens, 4th, 5th graders, and had the opportunity to learn some really cool things, some really helpful things, and thought I ought to share these with other people that I work with who also work with our 4th and 5th graders. So just without any more introduction, I just want to quickly hit on a couple of real highlights for me and hope that this is helpful as we minister together with our preteens. One of the things that I learned from this workshop is that preteens, if you do a brain scan of preteens and compare that to a brain scan of a 3-year-old, it's very identical. It's something about that magic age of 11 where the brain is trying to decide what it needs to keep and what it needs to let go of. And scientists and researchers are starting to call this cognitive pruning. So our 4th and 5th graders, our preteens, those right around 11, are trying to decide what the brain is trying to decide what it needs to keep and what it can let go of as it starts to take in all this new information as it begins to get closer and closer to the teenage years. And so as I thought about that, and I heard that, it's like, man, that's just a really interesting thing, because I can explain sometimes, well, we look at preteens as they're getting a little bit older, they look more mature, but sometimes they act just like, oh man, they act just really immature sometimes. But on the other times, they can act really mature. And so sometimes you can have the same group of preteens, right? And one time you're with them and you can have some deep discussions and deep conversation, and you can take that exact same group and the next time they're going to be just off the wall, and you're like, is this the same group we just had last week? And so just know that that's pretty normal. And so when we think about how they're bouncing back and forth, trying to decide, the brain's trying to decide what it needs to keep and what it can let go of, that sometimes you don't need to be surprised if we're doing a 4-week series or a 4-week lesson on something, we come in and we talk about it, and they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. They have no idea what the theme is, even if it was just a few days ago. And so their brains are trying to figure out what they need to keep, and they're trying to remember, oh, I gotta remember this for school, I remember this for sports, lines for play, wherever it might be, and then sometimes their brain's just working through this. So not to get too harsh on them for forgetting, oh, what was our Bible theme from last week? So a couple things as we are teaching preteens to consider this, and I wrote these down. Like when we're teaching preteens, we want to teach them in a way that will build critical thinking skills. So allow them to think through tough questions of faith or tough questions about the Bible that they might have. Another thing is to develop EQ and empathy, to really think about how they can relate to others and relate to them well, and just to feel how they might be feeling. And another one is just to elevate questions, to allow them to ask questions, for you to also be asking questions. In a more practical sense, when working with preteens, sometimes we have to kind of quickly go judge on the fly, like what type of small group we're going to be having or what type of group we're going to be having with them. I mentioned earlier that sometimes they can be super mature, and sometimes the next week that same exact group may not be mature at all. And so we want to look at, if we get in with our group and maybe they're a bit more squirrely that day and a bit more talkative, that maybe that is more of an activity that we're really focusing on the activities and the movement of what the curriculum provides. And then there might be a day when we come in, they're really engaged in the lesson and it can be more of a discussion time. So just kind of judging that as you get in there, like, is this going to be a squirrely time, or is this going to be a time we're going to have lots of activities, or maybe it's a time we can engage with the questions and have a discussion about the lesson or the theme of the day. So hopefully with our curriculum, what we provide you, whether it's Wednesday, Sunday, special events, that gives you an opportunity, that there's stuff in there for both. So whether you have to extend the activity a little bit longer or extend the discussion because it's going so well, to go ahead and do that. And then finally, just the last thing I would say about working with preteens is just when we work with preteens, one of the things I learned from this workshop is that they just need a place where they can just be. They can just be themselves, where there's a safe place. And so it's my goal when I work with preteens, with 4th and 5th graders, to provide that safe place. And as leaders, when you're serving with them, just to provide that safe place, to let them be, where there's no expectation of them to like, oh, they gotta remember this, oh, they gotta do this, but they can just come and be themselves. And that's not to say they can just, act all crazy and out of control, but that's just saying, hey, just let them be and let them enjoy their time here, to listen to what we're saying, to let them engage with the content as well, and just allow them to feel safe and loved and cared for at church. So hopefully this is helpful. I found this to be super helpful with on the times that I work with preteens. So thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you around.